Now, it's a big day for the Afghan president, Hamid Karzai. He's meeting President Obama in Washington. He's going to be discussing America's military presence in his country. The U.S. is committed to bringing home most of America's 66,000 combat troops by the end of 2014. But some will stay because of questions over whether Afghanistan will be able to manage its own security by that time.
The visit of Afghan President Hamid Karzai for talks in Washington with President Obama marks the beginning of the end of negotiations between the two countries on the subjects of American withdrawal and the future stability of Afghanistan. After 10 years of war, the onus is on everyone to get it right. On the table are three fundamental talking points: how many American troops will remain in Afghanistan after the bulk of the military withdraw, immunity from prosecution for US military serving in Afghanistan, and peace talks between Kabul and moderate Taliban clans. So, how many troops will remain in theatre after the American mandate ends in 2014? The debate is still raging in the corridors of power. The top US commander in the region, Marine Corps General John Allen, has promised a force of between 6,000 and 15,000. According to sources, the Defense Department has drawn up a plan which will leave between 3,000 and 9,000 troops on the ground. A bone of contention is immunity from prosecution for US military personnel serving in the country. This was a major disagreement between Washington and Baghdad when the US pulled out of Iraq in 2001. Those in the know believe Karzai will have some room for manoeuvre on this, but it depends on what demands Washington make.
The White House floated the possibility of pulling all troops out of Afghanistan. Now the Pentagon is pushing back, saying it could jeopardize any negotiating power with the Taliban.
The stronger position we take in showing that we are going to continue to complete this mission, the better the chances we have to ultimately achieve political reconciliation.
The Pentagon was only the beginning of the Afghan president's visit to Washington.
Our meeting, I believe, will help lay the groundwork for President Karzai's discussions tomorrow with President Obama.
Sources say President Karzai and his defense minister brought a wish list to the Pentagon: drones, helicopters, and hardware to support their security forces.
What we talked about yesterday was, let's move beyond the wish list of equipment.
The U.S. wants assurances terrorists won't set up shop in Afghanistan as American troops leave, and Karzai agreed.
Afghanistan will, with the help that you'll provide, be able to provide security to its people and to protect its borders.
But a recent Pentagon report reveals the Afghan Border Patrol relies on the U.S. for even its most basic needs: food and water. It's rife with illiteracy, lack of accountability, and corruption. And these conditions are expected to endure beyond 2014. But every troop in Afghanistan costs the U.S. government about $1 million a year. So even leaving a small force adds up. 3,000 troops would cost $3 billion every year they're deployed. The question of how many troops remain is secondary to what they will do. Defense officials say Karzai prefers any remaining U.S. troops to focus on training his forces. He's opposed to foreign troops conducting raids. That's a part of counterterrorism, whereas trainers would patiently teach Afghan security forces.